Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 72 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Wendigo Tea. Go to wendigotea.com. Check out their selection of incredible teas. I mean, Sky has been going around the world looking for some of the best ingredients to make tea with, and it really shows. I mean, he sent me a little bit of their Yeti white tea, and it comes in this crazy little bundle that he puts together by hand. It's hand-woven. As they describe it on the website, I mean, they're hand-picked, they're rolled, then they're woven and dried. You put this little bundle of joy in your hot water, and you create this earthy, kind of citrusy, a little bit of honey in there. It's just very, very refreshing, and honestly, some of the best tea I've had. Go to their website and see. They have so many different options, and they ship it right to your house. And if you use the promo code RRBG, you can get 15% off of your order. I finally launched a Patreon page, so go to patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy, support the podcast. Every little bit helps. And for the $5 tier, you'll get access to exclusive content like the full audio interviews from Psycho Las Vegas with people like Andrew WK and Aaron from Red Fang. We've got CKY. We've got Dimmu Borgir. I mean, there's about 16 different interviews that are going to be uploaded little by little. Check it out. We'll also have other content that I'll be uploading. We're recording Punisher Patrol episodes coming soon where I'll have one of our guests give a story of dealing with a Punisher, and a whole bunch of other content that I have lined up. We'll have merchandise, new shirts, new posters. If you've ever wanted to get involved with the podcast and support, this is your chance. Patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy. In this episode, I talked to James May of the band Black Tusk. I caught him on a day off during their tour with Whores and White Nails to talk a little bit about their new album, talk a bit about their new upcoming tour called Metal Alliance with Goat Whore and the Casualties. We talk a little bit about what influences him, the type of music he grew up with, the different kind of activities on the road, and all sorts of other topics. I had a really great time talking to him, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. I'm here with James May of Black Tusk. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right, man. We got a day off on the tour, so
magical.
Nice, can't believe laid back. Yes.
Can't believe we lined that up perfectly, huh?
Yes, we did.
Nice, man. Nice. So you're on tour right now, actually, with Slaves and White Nails. Is that right?
Whores and White Nails. Yeah.
Whores.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, I thought it was Slaves. Never mind. So Whores and White Nails. Cool.
Yeah.
And that runs to the end of September or mid-September-ish, and then you got the Metal Alliance tour, right?
Yeah. It runs. That will run. It's been going on about 3 weeks now. We got another week left on it, and then we are home for a couple of months, and then we do the Metal Alliance tour.
Nice, and that's Casualties and Goat Whore and Great American Ghost and
a lot of good bands on that. Yep.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there, man. I'm looking forward to hanging with you guys and good old Ben from Goat Whore.
Yeah, we got a good spot on that whole thing. We're right before Casualties.
Nice.
To us, Casualties, and then Goat Whore to wrap up the night every night. So a really good spot on it too.
Hell yeah. I think that's the maximum amount of crowd you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, man.
Cool, dude. And you guys just released a new record. It's called TCBT.
Yep.
What's that stand for?
Taking Care of Black Tusk.
Nice. I like it. And you know, I noticed the cover art was completely different to everything you guys have done in the past. I mean, before you guys have had John Baisley from Baroness doing the art, but this one is more minimal. It's just the four letters and like a lightning bolt. What changed there for you guys? Like, why did you go that route?
Well, that stuff has been the lightning bolt with the TCBT. If you ever see any of our equipment or anything, it's all over our equipment. We've had that on our stuff for at least 5 years now, so we just thought it was a very fitting title for the album this time around, because a lot of people didn't even know if we were still going to remain a band.
Right.
They were just willing to write us off to say that we were done. So we didn't do any touring. We did very minimal shows. And basically, we thought that having a title saying Taking Care of Black Tusk is exactly what we needed to start doing about this time. So we called the album that. We had a different lineup change with the obviously with bass player, and
right.
We actually added another guitarist now too.
Nice.
So he wasn't on the record, but he helped with the engineering of the record, and now he will be on the next record and is definitely touring with us and everything. The shows we're playing right now is with the extra guitar player, and since things changed around, I think it was a different sounding record and everything. We just decided for this time to just have the art be full and more of something that I think if I was looking through a record bin would catch my eye immediately.
Right. Yeah, because, no disrespect to Baisley's artwork. I mean, his work is incredible, but it could get lost in the shuffle with Baroness Records, right? Because they kind of have a similar...
with a lot of other bands, it's beautiful, like intricate artwork, and we have the Agatha character with him, that's always on the. But for this one, and I'm not saying that any of that is gone and look like that ever again from us,
Right.
But this one it was fitting for it to be different. It needed to be different this time. So
for sure, and I heard the album as well, and I mean it's the ferocious is the word I came up with. That's the one word I wrote down.
Thank you. That's what we were going for. We figured it had been so long that, like I said, a lot of people didn't know what was going on with this band anymore or anything. We kind of just played the background, very minimal movement, and just stayed in that practice space and just wanted to come out with something that's like, here we are, it's us, like we didn't go anywhere, and kind of slap you in the face with the sound of the record,
For sure. And if anyone's listening, because, not everyone that's listening will know your band, so Black Tusk, unfortunately, if you, about a couple years back, you guys lost Jonathan, which was your bass player. Yeah,
it's going up on 4 years now,
4 years, okay.
Yeah.
And and when I say lost, I don't mean he left the band. I mean he left Earth, and it was a rough situation for everyone. I know you guys were dealing with it, like you said, for a few years. So is that all going in the theme of the music, like the lyrically or anything like that? Is that all are you guys letting it all out with this one?
Yeah, definitely. You can't control when situations like that happen. Mm-hmm. You can only try to adjust and fix, as much as you can and go on,
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough when you lose anyone, especially a family member like that. When you're in a band together, like you become family, you're basically married to each other. So it's a rough thing. Yeah. And, I commend you guys for continuing and pushing forward, because many people would just stop. They'd just be like, nah, that's it, but.
What helped us do that is, we had a couple of really big tours that were booked within months of him dying. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of forced us to, okay, are you going to move on with this? Or, there wasn't much time to grieve, because the very next tour after that was a Black Label Society tour in Europe. Oof.
Yeah.
So that was, we got to call this now, or we got to push on. So we had some pretty big profile tours, and the first thought was, and on Corey's behalf too, is all right, no like replacement for right now. Can you just help us get through these tours? You know,
right.
And if we end up meshing and everybody gets along and everything on the road for, you know, these next few tours, then we'll figure out what we want to do as far as, you know, actually joining the band is how we went about it at first. And then, you know, after the first by the second tour, like, all right, man, you're in. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man. And, I mean, it's got to be rough. And is there one specific band member that's in charge of like the major decisions in the band, or is this like it's all a group effort for you guys?
It's a group. If there's a decision that needs to be made, you know, like we need to know this right now, and we've been a band long enough that I can tell you what each member is going to say yes and no to. Mm-hmm. You know, but as most as we can, we like to do votes on things.
Cool. Yeah.
So that way no one's pushed into anything or signed up for anything that's like, you know, like, what, you know, I didn't want to do that. How do I have to do this now? You know, so we try to avoid all that by just voting out things.
Yeah, it keeps it democratic. That's good, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I was looking online, you know, some more info on the band and stuff. And a lot of people call you guys sludge, but I mean, honestly, I detect more like thrash punk than anything than for you guys.
Yeah, we feel the same way. You know, I like, you know, the whole swamp metal thing too. It's just like, that was something years and years and years ago when we first started. Somebody asked what they thought it sounded like, you know, and I was like, I don't know, it's like thick, you know, like swamp won't, you know, like I mean, of course it's, you know, heavier, and we still have heavy, thick parts. Definitely grown from, if you listen to early Black Tusk to listen to it now, it's the same thing anymore. All that we've ever said about this band is that just not to like totally alienate the audience to like, oh my God, this band's not even the same band anymore. We like to just do whatever style of music we want to do for the record in the Black Tusk way. You know, like it's going to sound like that us, and you can tell that it's us that did it, but we might not exactly be giving you swamp metal or some sludge doom. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's pretty much our only rules. We don't know why people say it about our band I guess it's just, you know, one day I feel like some people might listen to the albums and be able to tell themselves that it definitely is not just that. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the new one. I mean, I didn't hear the whole thing, but I went through like 6 tracks, and it's definitely like thrash and punk with, you know, obviously heavy tones, lots of distorted tones.
Yeah, and looks more like an old hardcore record or something, you know.
Yeah.
So that is what came out of the practice space. That's what we felt like playing at the time, you know. Like, it still sounds like I said, our way of doing it, but I just feel like at this point with this band, we've released so much music, we're not going to do the same record over and over again. You know, like,
for sure.
Yeah, I just people change. People's ear for music changes. I never have wanted to be like a category or, you know, paint myself into a corner of, oh man, this is what we have to release or else no one will like us anymore, you know. So
yeah, and it's such a rough thing. The crowds can be fickle, man. Like you listen to bands that evolve through time. Like if you go and listen to like Poison the Well, that started off very, very hardcore, you know, fast paced, to then more melodic and more evolved sound later, you know, and then the fans turning on them because they're like, oh, where's the heavy shit? You know, I want to cry about my dad hitting me. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's ridiculous as a musician to. If you want to hear, play one of my old records. You know what I mean? Like, we as musicians get bored doing the same thing over and over again. You know, like, the whole thing, I think, with any musician is to build music. You know, like, I mean, I can give you 2 bands right off the bat. Mastodon, Baroness.
Oh, yeah.
These bands don't sound anything like they did from the beginning. it does not mean that they're bad bands, you know, by any means. But if you just listen to the records, you see the growth. You see, like, you know, it's like a tree building or something, you know, like this broad, heavy base, and then all these branches that went out into all this crazy way, you know, that built that mastodon tree and built that baroness tree, you know, and it's like, it's a good thing. It's not bad.
Yeah,
but you know,
and you look at Mastodon, like, since you brought them up, their fan base, like you said, in the beginning, they were, you know, it's very heavy, very fast, and then they've evolved, and a lot of people are like, oh, Mastodon's not the same anymore. I don't like him anymore. It's like, okay, that's good for you. They just got a Grammy, so they're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, it's like, and you know, like I said, if you want to listen to early, go throw on Remission, then if you want to hear old Mastodon. Right. You know, but it come to find out, a lot of people want to hear new Mastodon too. You know, it's like, I never have understood it, and not unless you just completely, like, they still sound like Mastodon. I can still hear that Mastodon guitar, and those, you know, like, they still do it their way. Yeah. You know, like, you know, when you hear a new Mastodon song before you even know, someone tells you it's Mastodon. Same with Baroness. Yeah. You know, like, they still do that. Then I don't feel like those bands have alienated their crowd. You know, you have to grow with musicians. Right. Yeah. You know? And a lot of things that the fans don't get either is as you get older, you know, a lot of first albums and second albums are fueled by this, like, hunger and this rage of, like, being poor and wanting to be, you know, wanting to do art, and you have this like crazy, you have a different fuel for that fire. Once you get older, you still have fire, but it's a different thing. You know, it's a different thing that's pushing you. Blowing out your voice, and, you know, Cookie Monster vocals. Did it all too. You know. Yeah. I mean, that band started in, like, I was like 23 or something. I'm 37. Oh, you know, like, I'm turning 37 in November. Nice. Yeah, you know, it's like, I'm not the same person I was when I was like 23, 24 years old. Right. You know, like, I don't know. That's always a loaded, like, question to, you know, and to me it's about, you know, how people, I guess I look at things different being a musician than a listener, you know, on things. Sure. Yeah. Although I am both, obviously, you know, but I always see it as a musician's way of doing it. So you're still a fan of music. So aside from Mastodon and Baroness that we just talked about, like, who else are you listening to on the regular? Man, I listen to all kinds of stuff. Because I listen to all kinds of different kinds of music too. I'm one of those people that I like to get my iPod and just DJ my own, like, stuff. You know, I'll go from one song to the other. That's pretty much just how I listen to music. Because I seriously listen to anything from, like, outlaw country music to, you know, to metal, to rock, to, like, hardcore gangster rap. You know what I mean? Like, I love it all, you know? Well, so, okay, gangster rap, like, what's some of your favorite, who are some of your favorite gangster rappers? I love the old TRU shit, you know, like the old, like, Master P era, all the old No Limit stuff, you know, the Cash Money era. That was when I was, like, that was my upcoming, you know, so I still love all that old stuff. Yeah. Oh, man. I remember that. I'm not much for, like, the mumble rappers in these days and all that, you know. No. Like, even though that, like, Master P and stuff like that, like, it's still kind of like ignorant rap. It's still fun and aggressive. Exactly. You know? And I'll say it all day. I'll be like, I want to hear some ignorant gangster ass shit. Yes, that's what I like. You know? Man, I remember in high school I was like, in high school I was really more into metal and like, you know, listening to Deftones and all that shit. And but it was still part of my life. I grew up in Miami, so it was still around me everywhere. And you know, and I would make fun of it, but then I listen back now and I'm like, damn. That make them say is fucking awesome. Yeah. I mean, I just always liked it all. I didn't feel like that you had to be a certain person. Right. You know, I was kind of, you know, especially like in the high school I went to, it was, you know, public school to the fullest. You know what I mean? And, you know,
free lunches, all that.
Yeah, we got into all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I pretty much was the guy that could go over to this house party or this one and kind of knew a few people from every clique.
Nice.
You know, and we just, even though I looked like a punk rocker in high school, super over the top, like metal punk, you know, I still could just go in and out of crowds as I please.
Hell yeah.
I've just always been that type of person and of music, you know, just not like putting yourself in a corner musically. You know,
for sure, man. And it's so admirable. It's something that I've admired in people. When I see someone that looks out of place, but they're still there enjoying themselves, like, you know, like you said, you look punk rocker when you're at a gangster party, like you stand out, but you're enjoying yourself, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm also a guy that, you know, has like face tattoos and gold teeth and a metal band, you know, but punk metal, you know. So, yeah, so I've always just been all over the place. When it comes to music, I've never felt a need to say, I am this, and this is what I mean, I understand some people only like one type of music, and that's totally fine, too. But if you're not that type of person, there's no need to be that way. You know, like, you don't have to claim a side when it comes to music. There's way too much good shit out there to play one side.
I hear you, man. And I've always been that way as well, like just being open. I'm Cuban, too, so I'm all into the Latin jazz and salsa and, you know, every single thing I can get my hands on. But
yeah, it helps when you write music for it to come from everywhere, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, all the creative bands that you like, oh, my God, that was incredible. It's usually because they have some kind of influence that's out of the norm for you. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Or they got, like, what the hell did these dudes... They don't all getting together, you know, like Deftones and stuff. You got different nationalities, no effects and shit. You got different nationalities mixing together and different, you know, just lifestyles, but then coming together to make this one music this way. I mean, it's just, I think it's a good thing, you know.
Hell yeah, man. One of my favorite memories of being in a band, we were playing a house show one night, and I don't remember whose house it was, but I just remember we were like just going insane. I was bleeding from the face because I smashed myself with the cymbals. So I'm like running around smashing my head on the cymbals, and I'm bleeding and rocking out. And I look up and I see three big old black dudes with the giant like gangster like shirts that go down to the ankles and, you know, like super like and they were rocking out too. And I'm like, there you go. That's my favorite thing in the world right now. Like, yes.
Yeah, man. It's very awesome, man. You know, like I think a lot of people say they like this kind of music and only this because they've never heard anything else. You know, like if something's good, then it's undeniable. You know what I mean? Like come on, man. Everyone likes, you know, Beastie Boys, and then you got the Kerry King solos in them. Yeah? Yeah, so it's just like, people don't even know what they're listening to, you know?
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
Yeah.
Man, let me ask you, do you have a pre-show ritual, like right before you get on stage? Is there something you like to do or something you do with the band altogether?
Take one more shot.
Ha! Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Usually we're kind of off on our own, doing our own little frantic things right before we play. Yeah, and then when we meet on the stage is like more the pre-show, like eye contact, fist bump. All right, let's do this thing.
Nice. So you do you enjoy a drink before you play, or as you get older it gets harder?
Yeah, at a minimal amount at this point, you know, especially because I don't know, the band kind of went backwards, and now I'm playing faster than I normally used to have to play. So, yeah. So I mean, I like, my favorite thing to do is to actually start drinking or have like a beer right before we play, or a shot, you know, or two right before we play, or as we start playing. You'll usually see like a drink up there by me that's not like the 5th or 6th. That's my first one, most likely, you know, like,
Nice.
because it's just, I've done it, of course, back in my old days, you know, playing drunk and everything. And it's just not even fun when you just sit down behind a drum set and you know you're drunk and you know you're not going to enjoy this because you're going to be too concentrated on trying to play it right to begin with or keep up. You know, you're just like, I've kind of blown this show for me. You know, like, no matter how good the crowd is and know how energetic and people like it, I'm going, please don't fuck up, you got too drunk. You know, so,
Right.
yeah, it's not really for me. But then after the show, it's whatever. Because I'm pretty good with dealing with hangovers at this point. Professional.
Professional, man. You got to get the... What's your preferred method of hangover cure in the mornings?
Hangover cure in the morning, coffee and some kratom.
Kratom? What's that?
Does it for me. It's like this natural herb that this is just like a relaxing herb thing. A couple of those and some coffee, man, back in the game.
Nice. Yeah, I usually I've been doing a pre-sleep thing now. So like if I know I've been drinking, I try and make sure I take a couple ibuprofen and a glass of water before bed, and then in the morning coffee and just water and walking.
Yeah. Water. Yeah. Always.
Lots of water. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do the worst thing you can do a lot of times because, you know, when you're really hungover, you just crave a soda. You know,
shit,
like,
yeah.
I'll come up and I'll slam a soda till there's tears in my eyes and then be like, okay, now it's time to do water. You know, so. There's nothing like a Mountain Dew when you're hungover or a fucking Pepsi. You know?
Yeah. Or my other thing is a giant, disgusting meal of some kind. Like something super greasy will just wake my ass up. Or maybe even like a ramen or something, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Depending on how hungover, it might be chicken noodle soup day to get something in my stomach.
For sure. What's your drink of choice?
Me, I'm not really a beer guy. Okay. I will drink beer, I like vodka, or I like bourbon. That's what I like. A whiskey and Coke is always a go-to if I don't know what I'm going to drink. Okay,
that's good. Whiskey and Coke is a good one. I grew up with the Black Tooth grins back in Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's the it's really hot outside or whatever, vodka is good with me. Just like vodka soda with lime is all day. I can always drink that too.
Yeah, that shit's refreshing. It's like Sprite. Just tell yourself
a little too refreshing sometimes. I forget it's alcohol.
Oh man, when you guys are on tour, do you like exploring the towns you go to, or do you just kind of stick around the venue?
What, after the show?
Or before, like if you guys get there early, you unload, do sound check, and then you got like a couple hours. Do you go out, or you just stick around? It
really depends on what city.
Okay.
If or what part of town it is. Because sometimes you're like, well, there's really nothing around here. But I like to bring like a little skateboard on tour so that I can just go ride off, and at least go do that for a little while. Or sometimes just ride around in the venue, depending on which.
Yeah, depending on how big the venue is too. Like if you're playing a big stage, like an Ozfest or something like that, there's so much ground to cover. You could just go around.
Yep, yep. I think bringing a skateboard on tour, great for somebody that can skate. I grew up skating. I don't do all the crazy tricks or anything like that anymore. I just kind of pedal around at 37. But I've broken everything you can break, as far as knees to feet and hands. But yeah. And plus, I don't want to think that doing that too, if I was to go like try to do some tricks and stuff, that was like, they do that at 37, man. Everybody knows that by 30, your skateboarding career is about up. Especially if you started when you were young, like I did, So I feel like that don't try nothing like that, because if I break something, that's going to cost the tour, and that's going to cost everyone money, and so I just pedal around on it.
Nice. Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
Especially at the point where you guys are at. Like, these are big tours. It's not like a little garage tour. You're playing, tiny shit
Well, it
bars,
wasn't gonna do anything anyway. But it's like, nah, there's contract and all this other stuff involved. That if I just had to do this kickflip and broke ankle, I'm fucked, and I fucked everybody else too. Yeah.
For sure, man. Speaking of we were just mentioning big festivals like Ozfest. What are your thoughts on like that? The festival scene seems to be dying out. Like Warped Tour just bailed, and Ozfest is now down to like 1 day a year instead of a tour. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, I think I like tours. I like festivals as far as playing them. But man, I mean, I die down because I don't really enjoy being just a person at a festival. It's way too much overload. You know, like you can't get, anytime you try to get to somewhere you're trying to see a band, you're seeing them. To me, it's not intimate whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't enjoy being at like a spectator at a festival. You know, so I could see where after a while it would just, you know, kind of not be as big of a thing anymore. Especially, you know, you got these bands up close and personal if you want. You know, you can see them playing live if you want. But as far as the other end, playing festivals, I love it. You know, so I have mixed feelings about the whole thing because I don't want them to be something that dies off being a musician. But I can understand the other part of it too, with the way days are these days. You know, it's like I pay $8 for a beer and $4 for a water anymore. And it's the only way I'm going to see this band. You know, like there's just so much more access to seeing a band now. I don't need to go through all that shit to do it. You know.
For sure, man.
So,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. I'm spoiled when it comes to festivals and stuff. Thankfully, like I've been in the beer game for so long, so like beer festivals were always, for me, they were fun, but that's because I was on the other side of the table as opposed to standing in line, you know? Yeah, and then
you're getting overpaid for, and you feel like I've already paid all this money to even be here in the first place, and now you want to rake me some more. Right. You know, it's just like, and I'm not talking anything bad about any particular festival, but we all know that they tend to be expensive after a while. You know what I mean? Because like I said, as a musician, I love playing festivals and they're awesome. And it's, you know, it's great for the bands to be able to play in front of so many people and gain new fans and stuff. But as a fan, I could just feel the frustration of being at festivals nowadays. You know, to put it in easier to, you know, more direct terms. I can get it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I mentioned, I'm spoiled, so I have a lot of friends now. So whenever there's a big fest, like Dave Whitty, last time the Warped Tour was here and Municipal Waste played, I got to hang out with them backstage and experience it from the back, and it was like, oh, this is a blast. Mm-hmm. But being out in the sun all day,
yeah, and especially with the, you know, we've toured with them and everything. I love those guys. You know, they're the perfect people to go hang at stage with and have some beers. You know,
for sure. And you know, my friends hit me up like, "Oh, did you see the lineup for this whatever Coachella or Bonnaroo or whatever?" And it's like, yeah, that sounds like shit to me because to watch any band that I like from, you know, from the back, from far away, they're tiny and stand outside all day. And, Yeah.
And that too, as a musician, you get to see the other bands like VIP, you know? So I'm on the side of the stage watching Black Sabbath. That's awesome. Would I want to be in the back or way in the sea of people where I can't even, like, I got to piss on myself if I want to use the back? You know, it's like, seriously, like, I get it.
Yeah. If you had a dream, like if you could book your own tour package, who would be on that package for you?
I don't know right now, because I mean, we've pretty much, except for a few, we pretty much have gotten to play with, you know, most of the bands that we wanted to play with. You know, I mean, we even got to do the Metallica's Orion Fest. You know, we did that. I mean,
nice.
I mean, I would love to revisit doing more stuff like that, or but pretty much a Melvins tour. Like something with the Melvins would be awesome. We haven't got to do that,
Nice.
or maybe something with Neurosis or something. Other than that, I mean, it's just any of the. I remember a long time ago we had a list of all these bands we would want to tour with. Unless the bands broke up, we pretty much ended up getting to tour with them. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Which is cool because it was like a bucket list, and now the bucket list shows what happens now.
Sure. I mean, well, yeah. I think you guys would fit with the Melvins. I had Buzz on not too long ago, and he was, I mean, that punk rock vibe. He is as punk rock as it gets, even though he doesn't look it, and maybe their music isn't very punk rock, but just attitude-wise, whew.
Yep, and they love, like, touring with stuff that is not exactly like them, Like, so, and I love tours like that, too. I don't want to see, like,
4 bands
three
sound
of the
same.
same type of band. Yeah, it's like, just mix it up, man. Yeah. Make the tours on paper, but it does musically,
Yeah, and
that's the best kind.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, that's always been the case. Even if it's a band that I love, like if you go to a progressive metal show and there's like Between the Buried and Me and Animals as Leaders, like all these bands that are very like proggy. After the first band, I'm done. Like I even though I like the other band, I'm done. I'm burnt out. Like,
yep, and everyone feels that way.
Yeah,
like everyone does it on paper, but then when you actually did it, musically it didn't make sense. And the thing is, it ended up ruining it for all the bands on the tour. Because the thing is, like you said, I liked all those bands, but I didn't want to see them play back to back. Which goes back to my iPod.
Right.
On my iPod, listening to music because I don't want to hear the same band over and over again.
Yeah, for sure.
We all as humans have way less attention span than we used to.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be hard to get, the damn headliner's going to play an hour set, and then the other's going to play 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And then 40, and then 30 or 35. I mean, dude, you got like 3.5 hours of the same music. You can barely get a person to listen to all of one song nowadays.
For sure.
Before they made up their mind on if they like something.
It's all technology, dude. It's all the advancements, like Netflix blasting you in the face with like, here's 10 comedy specials on demand whenever you want. Like, here you go. And we're oversaturated with entertainment at this point, which is not it's not a terrible thing. I like having stuff to do and watch and listen to, but it could be much. It could be a bit much. Yeah.
I mean, I think when it works, it works. Yeah. But when it can very easily go over the line, very easily, to giving too much to the public.
For sure. So I was saying to go back because I skipped over a question about the tour. Are you guys touring in a bus or is it like a bandwagon or a van? What are you guys at right now?
We do the 15-passenger E350 XL Super Duty van with the trailer. There's plenty of room in there for us. You just got the front chairs, 2 captain chairs that go all the way back, and then 2 bench seats that you can completely lay down in.
Nice.
And we travel as 5 people. So
that's not too bad. That's good. That's plenty of room for people to
everybody's got their own personal space, and it's plenty big. Yeah.
What do you like to do on a long drive? Like, let's say you're driving from Louisiana to Texas, like 12 hours. What are you doing in the van during that time?
Trying to make as much of that be sleep as possible, so that you just wake up and and then you're there.
Right.
That's what I do. Yeah, like that's what I do. Just try to sleep it off.
Yeah, you're not like a big reader or a gamer or something. Like you don't have a little portable gaming system or.
No, just do the video game thing. I'm one of those kids who grew up on Nintendo. And an Atari, right. So all this stuff now, you put on one of these games now, I don't even know what to do. There's way too many buttons. So I don't know what's going on, you know.
Nice.
So, and if there's books around, I'll read. You know, if something's interesting, I read. Most of my reading is autobiographies from other musicians.
Okay.
That's what I like to read. Yeah.
Which has been your favorite one so far? Like, if you were to recommend me one.
Definitely. Let me think. The last one that I read was Hit Hard, and it was Joey from Aerosmith story, and that was a really good one, especially being a drummer. You know, that was a pretty awesome book. The Dirt. I think everybody needs to read The Dirt. I'm a huge Motley Crue fan. And even if somebody wasn't a Motley Crue fan, I just don't see how you couldn't be thoroughly entertained by that book. You know, of course, Lemmy's, you know, you need to read Lemmy's, White Line Fever, you know. At home, pretty much my bookshelf is nothing but Across the Top. Someone tells me about one, I'm going to read it. And I just guess I like them because I can always identify with them.
Sure, yeah.
You know, no matter how big your band is, you still are playing Hurry Up and Load In. You're still riding on a band. You're still living the same life, just on a different scale. Like, some people like buses. I don't particularly, like, yes, a bus is cool, and it can be fun to be on it. I like being able to get out in the hotel, you know, and get off of the bus, you know, type thing.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like some people like it. I am the type of person that would rather be able to go stop and just go in a hotel, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Like, I don't think I could handle a bunk in a bus. Like, I have claustrophobia, so like that thing is like basically a coffin. So like,
it is. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's cool. Buses to me are cool for the first 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's just like, oh man, you know, like,
get me out of here.
Really early on a bus because they drive, you know, you get drove overnight. So you'll be like the first one at the venue to just sit there and chill on a bus. And like I said, I'm not really good at entertaining myself, like getting on a laptop or just like reading a book or doing a game or something. I'm more like want to interact with someone or go do something physically, you know. So if I'm not going to do that, I'd rather just sleep. Since I'm not really good at, you got to be that kind of to do well on a bus type situation. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I also skipped over this question. I was going to ask you, so you sing and play drums. What do you do to warm up before a show? Do you do warm-ups for vocals? Because, I mean, I used to sing in a band. And
no.
It's hard for me. Like,
yeah, it was really weird to do at first. Like, on our first demo, I'm not. Our first EP thing, I'm not even on it. And then on our first full-length album, I think I have, like, one singing part. I think, like, Passage Through Purgatory, I started actually singing on it. And, or screaming, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But, I've been doing it so long with this band now, it seems weird not to. Like, if I do a, side project or something, or, you know, do, like, a cover band thing or something, and I'm not singing, it's really weird to me to not do it. It seems like part of playing the drums at this point. So,
and you don't do anything to change the way you're playing drums or writing drums for your vocals, right? Because I've noticed that with Mastodon, we were talking about earlier, Braun has done more singing lately, and I feel like he's actually toned down some of the drum beats so that he can play and actually sing these parts. Yeah.
I mean, when we're writing songs, there have been parts where I've just been like, hey, I can go ahead and tell you right now, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to sing while I'm doing this part. You know, like, there are parts like that, but for the most part of it, I can pretty much sing and play over whatever we're doing.
Nice.
It seems automatic to me at this point.
That's good, man. Yeah, I could, I try to tell people, they talk to me about CrossFit and all this shit. I think the most intense workout you could possibly do is like blast beats while screaming. Like, try that.
And I do them every night. All of ours music isn't, but we definitely have those parts. Like, in Born of Strife,
mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's going to get that on the first time. But, it seems automatic to me now, and I can see the look on people's faces at our shows, and see, like, oh my God, he's playing that shit and singing, but it's really just something that, I don't know. I guess I got good at it. It just got automatic. Just like how I'm playing drums, I'm not really thinking about what my leg's doing.
That's true. That's true. Well, and then final question, just to wrap things up. What's the future look like for you? And actually, sorry, two questions. What's the future look like for you? Do you plan to just play music until you can't anymore? Or do you have any other ventures that you're going into, investments or anything like that? And the other question is, if you could make any other band, like any other project, what genre would it be?
All right. Yes, I plan on playing music till I can't anymore.
Okay.
As long as it stays fun, and these bunch of dads. Because we got two dads in the band now, so,
gotcha.
So as long as, it's that. And as far as a side project, I kind of don't like when someone does a side project and it sounds just like your other band. I don't see the point. So it would definitely be something, it would probably end up sounding like the Stone Age type sounding. It didn't sound anything like Black Tusk, but another like kind of music I really, really enjoy listening to,
Desert rock.
So, it'd be something like, probably along the lines of that.
It wouldn't be a No Limit Soldier production?
Man, maybe it would be, I mean, now that you talked me into it, shit, maybe, I might bring No Limit back,
Yeah.
And when I can't do music anymore, I can, draw fairly well and stuff, so I would probably start doing a lot more art stuff. You know how a lot of people quit doing, they'll stop a band, but they'll still be in a studio?
Yeah.
So I think I would try to start doing art for bands, so I'm still involved in music, because I can't imagine music just not being in my life completely. But I do wish a part of me had more time to be the person that got to, like, design, like, T-shirts and awesome silk screen flyers and stuff for bands, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Because I really, really enjoy that, an extensive collection of, like, show posters and all that stuff, so at my house. And, like, extravagant art and stuff,
Hell yeah.
John Paisley art. Yeah.
Have you ever, like, thought about drawing on your, like, drum heads and selling them at shows?
I have, and they do well.
Oh, awesome. There you go.
Especially over in Europe, like, I'll change out heads, and the amount of money that I've gotten for some of those heads has been surprising,
Nice, man.
But it's not like I just sign it and I'm like, oh, here's a signed head. I mean, I draw, like, if I'm feeling it, man, I might draw something pretty ripping on that thing, So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me today.
No problem.
Make sure anybody listening, check them out. You're on tour right now till the next week or so, 2 weeks. With Hordes, and then you have that big Metal Alliance tour, which I plan on going out to. You guys should do that as well.
And then it'll be Europe after that in the spring.
In Europe in the spring. If anybody wants to follow you on social media, where do they go? Go
to TCBT for Instagram. Black Tusk has a Facebook. That's easy to find. Tusk Terror is the official website.
I'm sorry, repeat that one?
BlackTuskTerror.com.
Okay, awesome. Cool, man. Well, thanks again. And a shout out to Mark Vieira for the connect. I mean, he and I are good friends. We've become good friends in the last year or so. And I know he manages you guys. So,
Mm-hmm.
and thanks again, brother.
No problem. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.